This episode of Born to Baseball is sponsored by the BTB Travel Team and Training Tracker. Are you a parent or player searching for travel teams or training facilities in your area? Or are you a coach looking to expand your reach? Then you have to check out the BTB Triple T Tracker at borntobaseball.com. Make sure your team is represented. Let's go.
Calling all ball players. Are you ready to take your game to the next level? Were you born to baseball? Then bring it in. It's game time.
Check it out.
Hey guys, welcome to the Born to Baseball podcast. Today we have John Rodriguez with us. His 17-year pro career started with him getting signed by the New York Yankees in 1996 as an undrafted free agent. He got called up in 2005 by the St. Louis Cardinals and won a World Series ring in 2006. He retired in 2013 with an MLB career average close to 300. He is also the head of operations and head hitting coach at Yorkville Baseball Academy, as well as the hitting coach for the Cleburne Railroaders based in Texas. John, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, kid.
Could you start us up by sharing your baseball journey?
I was born and raised in New York and went to Brandeis High School, and then I had a tryout in Yankee Stadium. My uncle knew a cop who knew the scout, which was Caesar Prescott, who was holding a tryout in Yankee Stadium. And there were about, I would say, close to 100 kids, and I was the only one that was just as a favor. Went in, did what I had to do, just more or less, in a tryout, it's, fly balls in the outfield because I'm lefty. I rarely played first base. Run the 60, hit batting practice, and then it was like more of a simulated game. And at that time, that was actually my first time swinging a wood bat, and I hit 3 in the upper deck in old Yankee Stadium, which is kind of telling my age, but and then from there, I left because I felt like there was no interest. I did what I had to do, but, I just felt like there was no interest, like I said, no interest towards me, or because he had a bunch of kids there that he had invited. Went to play in the Bronx in the St. Mary's League. And then from there, the president of the league asked me, are you serious about this game? And I was like, yeah, of course. I love this game. I've loved this game ever since, 2 years old. I was able to pick up a bat and throw a ball. And he was like, all right, good, because I have some scouts coming down here to watch you play. I was like, yeah, right, whatever. And then he's like, no, I'm serious. I was like, all right, I'll believe it when I see it. So the Yankees, Detroit Tigers, Pittsburgh, I think it might have been the Cubs, and I think it might have been Milwaukee, all came down and watched me play. And then, lo and behold, the Yankee scout was Caesar Prescott, the one that was holding the tryout. And he came up to me after the game. He was like, where were you? Why did you leave? I was looking all over for you. And I was like, why? Being my naive self, was like, why? He's like, because I want to sign you. I was like, now you're playing around with me. Seriously, this is my biggest dream, is to get signed, especially from the Yankees. And he's like, no, I'm serious. We can't give you a lot of money. So I was like, listen to me. I don't care about the money. What I want to do is just give me a plane ticket, get me down there, and I'll show you what I can do. And 17 years later, that's really it. Went down there, enjoyed rookie ball, because in the outfield was me, our first rounder, our third rounder, and our fifth rounder. And guess who? Obviously those 3 guys are going to start over me, but I took it as a challenge. I didn't feel like they were any better than I was, and I proved it, and I ended up being the starter on my rookie ball team, the right fielder.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Could you talk to us a little bit about your road to the majors?
Road to the majors. Oof. was definitely a tough one. Like I said, started off in rookie ball, played rookie ball, I skipped short season A, went to regular season A, which was in Greensboro, North Carolina. Then I spent 2 years in high A, which is the Tampa Yankees, 2 years in double A, and then 2 years in triple A, and then I signed with the Cleveland Indians in 2005, and then they traded me over to St. Louis Cardinals, where I guess it's just like they always say, you know, new surroundings brings, you know, new joy. And for some reason, it just clicked. Everything clicked. I hit 343 with 17 home runs and 43 RBIs in 34 games.
Wow.
You know, and it just something, like I said, they call it the zone, but what I was feeling was I wasn't scared. I felt like I had nothing to lose. You know, everything was just coming together, and it just felt good. It felt amazing. You know, coming to the baseball field every day, even if I was, you know, I loved it either way, even if I was struggling or I was succeeding. But at that time, it was just magical. Like I couldn't figure it out. Like it was something that I was always dreamt of as a little kid when I was in my mother's living room, hitting a baseball and just imagining, you know, hitting home runs or, you know, being, you know, the best at that sport. And in that month, that's what I felt. And then from there, Reggie Sanders got hurt, and I guess they had no choice to call me up since I was doing so good. Got there. As soon as I got to the locker room, I was in amazement because I saw, you know, the jerseys, Albert Pujols, Scott Rowland, Jim Edmonds, you know, Yadier Molina. He was a rookie at that time. Adam Wainwright. Just seeing, you know, those guys' jerseys, and then looking off and seeing number 53 had Rodriguez in the back. And I had to hold back my tears. I ran into the bathroom and just threw water on my face to make it look like I had water on my face instead of tears. But it was just a time and place of joy. It was amazing. As soon as I got out of the bathroom, Tony La Russa goes, "Hey, come into my office." And at that point, I was scared. I was really nervous. He was like, you know, how do you welcome? You know, thanks for being here. You definitely deserve it. You know, I hope you continue, you know, your success up here. And I was like, you know, I plan on it, but we'll see what happens. And he was like, that's good because you're starting tonight. I was like, what? Wait a minute. Are you serious? He's like, yeah. You're starting in left field and you're hitting second. You're right in front of Pujols. So I was like, all right, I'll make sure to get on base so he can get his RBIs. He was like, good, because that's all he wants. And then at that point in time, the scenario with all that was, my thought process was, 1, be a team player. 2, do everything that you need to do to succeed, but also do it in a team atmosphere, not just I. I wanted to stay healthy because that was one of my problems, you know, throughout my career, was trying to stay healthy. It's just baseball injuries, you know, hamstrings, pull this, pull that, you know, just freak accidents. And then just enjoy the moment. Just enjoy, because you never know when it's going to be your last time there. So, you know, even at this time in my life, I still feel like I can do it, but my age obviously is not going to let me. But once you're there, don't take it for granted. Just enjoy every second that you're there, and just treat everybody with respect, with admiration, with, you know, with a lot of love, and all that in return, it'll come back to you. Yeah. You know, never think that you're better than anybody else. If you do, keep it to yourself. Just keep that confidence to yourself. Be confident, not cocky. You know, treat the reporters with respect, because at the same time, I know they're going to ask you difficult questions. You know, try to answer it as best as you can and in a respectful manner, you know? Yeah. Especially if you're a great player, you're going to have the microphone in your face every game, 162 games a year, plus postseason, spring training. You're going to have a microphone in your face. And if you're a great player, those are the guys that dictate if you're going to go into the Hall of Fame or not. So, so you also have to, take that into consideration. But more than anything, you just want to be a personable guy where they feel comfortable coming up to you and knowing that they can talk to you and not be so afraid or standoffish that, they want to just shy away from you.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing with me too was the fans. I love the fans. Like, they're there to see you play, and if a little kid, wants an autograph, sign it. That was my biggest thing. I'd stopped. I'm going to sign, So then adults, you have guys that want to sell your cards or sell your autograph. It's their hustle. You're in the major leagues. You're making, as a rookie, you're making $500,000, and then you get your contracts. You're making into the millions. Yeah. And if they want to sell your autograph for $20 or $30 or $100, so be it. They have to make a living also. So I saw it in that manner where everything is a hustle, but at the same time they're also trying to feed their family. So if I'm making that a bunch of money, why not share?
Yeah.
Like I said, with the kids, that was easy for me. I just did it. It wasn't even a hesitation.
How cool was it to get signed by one of your hometown teams, the Yankees?
Oh, my gosh. One, it was a dream come true. Two, it was just seeing those guys on TV and then being with them in the locker room it's just hard to explain. It's like you're an actor, and you've been watching, Denzel Washington or, Robert De Niro on TV your whole life, and then all of a sudden you're in the same place with them and you're acting with them. It's kind of surreal, but then after a while when you're there, it becomes a family, and you belong.
Yeah.
Because you're there, so you belong.
What led you to become an outfielder?
Lefty. I can't play that many other positions besides outfield and pitch and first base. That's it. Yeah. So that's why I have my youngest son, who's 7. When he was 2 years old, he grabbed the ball with his left hand, and I told him to drop the ball. I said, put your left hand behind your back and grab it with your right and throw it with your right. So he's been doing that.
And can you share some tips that you use in the outfield to take the best route to the ball?
Oof. That's kind of hard to explain. It's easier to show. That's why I love doing it. Just a lot of drills are like drop steps, reaction times, just knowing where the ball is going to be and getting there, putting your head down and know it's going to be there. Yeah. That's really the best way I could explain it.
You're heading into your second season as the hitting coach for the Cleburne Railroaders. Their team batting average from 2018 to 2019 jumped 32 points, and slugging increased by 95 points. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What are some of your keys to success when it comes to hitting?
Hand path, bat path, balance. There's a lot of things that go into it. Like I said before, it's easier for me to show than to say, but a lot of it is controlled anger, controlled aggression. I want the kids, even adults that I teach, I want them to swing hard, but when they do, it has to be the right approach, the right hand path, the right bat path to get to the ball, to stay short to the ball and drive the ball. There's so many elements that go into, hitting, pitching, fielding, obviously, but hitting is probably the most difficult part of baseball because you have a ball that's coming 90 to 100 miles an hour, and now it's moving. Yeah. It's not just straight. Like I said, balance is one of the keys. Hand path and bat path is the biggest for me.
Some know you as John Hand Path Rodriguez. That just shows how much you preach hand path while hitting. How important is it to have good hand path?
It's one of the keys because, like we call it the a la Derek Jeter, how many times he's been jammed and get a base hit to right field, because he had the right approach. He had the right hand path, getting to the ball, staying tight, staying through the ball, and just believed in himself and believed in his hands.
What's your favorite drill for creating good hand path?
Again, I would have to show you. Just trying to stay compact, just trying to stay short, trying to stay tight. And what I mean by tight is, you almost want to swing like you're going to rub your hands across your shirt, staying short and tight, staying inside the baseball and trying to drive the ball that way. And more or less is just where you make contact is where you're going to hit the ball, really.
What's your take on the launch angle type swing?
Launch angle is portrayed with some coaches the wrong way and some coaches the right way. A lot of it is, a lot of kids are just dropping their barrel behind the zone to bring it up, and that's not the right way to do it. You want to drop your bat into the zone and then have that kind of upward swing, but it's more of an angle to your bat, which creates and also contact points. You could have that loopy swing and then hit a ball out, but you could have that loopy swing and topspin balls, miss balls, which obviously statistics is showing that they're more inconsistent with that swing than consistent. Yes, home runs have gone up, but averages has gone down. Strikeouts has gone up. Walks has gone down. Slugging percentage, on base percentage for sure. Runners in scoring position. There was a situation, in the Yankee game during the playoffs. You have runners on third, less than 2 outs, and both the next two guys struck out because of that upward swing. Just put the ball in play. That run may count,
Yeah.
That run dictates, the outcome of the game. And a lot of guys just see it as why get that one run when we could get two? You're going to have over 500 at-bats in the big leagues. How many times do you think you're going to hit a home run? At the most, 20, 30, 40? So 40, just say 40, that's the top guys, 40, right? 40 home runs out of 500 to 600 at-bats. It's not a lot, I'd rather have a guy that hit 20 home runs with 130 RBIs than a guy hit 40 home runs with 80 or 90 RBIs. That's my, I'd rather have that. That's the type of player I would love.
Power is a big part of hitting. What are some key things that youth baseball players can do to increase power and exit velocity?
Well, what I do is I use a lot of weighted balls just to gain strength on your hands, wrists, and forearms. Yes, and also I do band work with for rotation for your hips, just to get that whip. But most of all, I love doing, weighted baseballs. And then I also have the hitting jacket where it's a weight that sits in between your bat, in the middle of your bat, where you can still hit. But it also balances out the bat where it's not top heavy. I like doing those two routines. And the biggest thing, like I said, for me is the weighted balls. It's just like I kind of, in comparison to a boxer, right? He's during his training camp, he's punching a heavy bag. And that heavy bag is probably 30 or 40 pounds heavier than a human being. So the more and more he hits that bag, as he gets stronger, and then when he hits a human being in a boxing ring, that's where the knockouts come, and that's where the power comes from.
Yeah. So you coach both youth and adult players. How do you know when a player's ready for a new piece of information? Is it based on age or skill level and readiness?
Well, they're always ready for new information. It doesn't matter age. Obviously, age, you're going to need more, but as you get older, if you're a student of the game, you'll need less, but you'll always need information no matter what.
How much time should a youth baseball player be investing on their own if they're serious about playing college ball and one day going pro?
Like I said, become a student of the game. It takes a lot of sacrifice, especially as you get older into your teens. You get into middle school, you get into high school. There's friends, there's parties, there's girlfriends. There's a lot of outside distractions that can take you away from your goal. And if you're serious about, not just playing in high school or college, if you're serious about going to the big leagues, there's going to be a lot of sacrifice. And like I said, and I tell, the youth today, there's always going to be parties. There's always going to be girls. Even for softball women, that's always going to be there. But it gets better when you make it to the top. Be the best you can be. Get your contract. Like I said, be respectful. Be the best person you can be. And all that is way better in the major leagues. You don't have to worry about all that now. Yes, you want to be a kid, that's fine. There's times that you can hang out with your friends. There's times that you can go to parties, stuff like that, but don't let it interfere with your work ethic. Don't let it interfere with your school. Never let it interfere with your school. That's one point. And be decisive. Be the person that, let's say, if I have practice, right, and I've done it, let's say I practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I also have practice on Friday, but it interrupts with a school party or a friend's party. If you're serious about it, what are you going to do? You're going to go to practice. Skip the party. You guys let me know how it went. That's fine. This is my goal. This is where I want to be. And those are, like I said, those are the little things and those are the sacrifices that you have to go through. So you're going to miss a lot of stuff. But at the end of it all, you're going to be thankful that you did it.
What was your playing and workout routine as a high school ball player?
Well, we didn't have any of the facilities, equipment, that kids have today. There was no batting cages for us. We kind of had to invent our own baseballs. We took a tennis ball to make it heavier. We would tape it. We played a lot of sponge ball. A lot of backyard stuff. Put all your friends together and then just played that way. A lot of us didn't have baseball gloves. So we just, play the sport without gloves and just use our hands just to make it even for everybody. Yeah. A lot of things, the way I truly got better was that. Playing with my friends in the backyard and then mimicking a lot of the guys on TV. Bernie Williams, Don Mattingly, Paul O'Neill, guys like that, Ken Griffey Jr., those are the guys I just watched them on TV as a lefty. I would mimic their swing and, just had a feel for what they were doing, but didn't really know the process on how they were doing it. So that was the confusing part. But every time I mimicked it, it felt good and it felt real. So I just went with that.
How important has mindset been for you in your career?
Oh, that's the biggest one. That's the most powerful tool for any human being, warrior, athlete, is your brain, is your mind. Just being in control of your body, of your everyday life. It's the biggest thing. You could control whatever you want to control, is if you put your mind to it and study and read and understand emotions, understand people's feelings, understand, what type of lifestyle you want, The mind, like I said, is the most powerful thing anybody can have.
You played in the MLB for 2 years with the Cardinals. How often did you get to pick the brains of other players?
Every day. All right, different situations. I picked the brain of Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright on how they get hitters out. I picked the brain on with Albert Pujols in hitting, different situations. I also did that with Jim Edmonds on hitting because he was lefty. And then I did with Jim Edmonds, I picked his brain about, how to become a better outfielder, how to approach the game with different hitters and their power, where do they hit the ball the most, and how does he, get around the baseball to, have a better throwing, position to the bases. And also with, Yadi Molina, same thing, how he would go about, calling pitches for different hitters, either the slap guys, power guys, average guys, just different scenarios. And then also as I was getting older in my career, I spoke to the coaches on, how to coach, how to be a manager, how to be a hitting coach, and how to teach, the guys.
Yeah. Was there one piece of advice that stood out to you the most?
Well, a lot of times guys will just say, just be true to yourself and know your game. If you're a slap guy, don't try to be a power guy. If you're a power guy, don't try to do too much. Just play your game and try to be the best player for your team.
Youth baseball players like me, we dream of playing in the MLB. Playing in the World Series is the next level. How much different is a World Series game than a regular season game?
Oh, it's mind-blowing. It's excitement from before the first pitch to even after the last pitch. It's just an experience because now, you have 32 teams and usually only your fans and the team's fans that you're playing against are watching. Now it's the World Series. You're the only two teams left. Now you have millions of fans watching you. Even if they're fans of someone else, they're watching the game. So that's where they call it, that's the stage. That's where your dad, being an artist in the music industry, he'll be in a club, and then all of a sudden he's playing in the Super Bowl. He's playing halftime in the Super Bowl, and it's like everybody's watching you now. Yeah. And it's the same aspect. And on top of that is, like I said, you can't let the moment get too big. Treat it as just like for me. Yes, I was nervous, but at the same time, I just treat it as a, backyard, baseball game with my friends. I didn't let the moment get too big for me.
What was your reaction when Adam Wainwright threw that last pitch to strike out Brandon Inge and win the World Series?
Mind-blowing, unbelievable, dream come true. Just, is this real? Just everything you can think of as a kid, just at that moment was real.
Yeah. What's your favorite memory from the World Series?
When Adam Wainwright struck out Brandon Inge because it was over. Just the celebrations, just knowing that we were world champions and nobody could ever take that away from us.
That's awesome. Now I want to move into the rapid fire questions.
All right, let's do
ready?
It. Uh-oh, hot seat.
What was your favorite team growing up?
New York Yankees.
Who's your favorite power hitter of all time?
Ooh. I would have to say Ken Griffey Jr. because him and Barry Bonds, but Ken Griffey Jr. the most because I'd followed him a lot.
In your opinion, who's the best clutch player of all time?
Ooh. I would have to say postseason-wise, it's Derek Jeter and just like all around when I was playing, like those first 10 years just watching is Albert Pujols. And then now, obviously, Mike Trout.
Last, but definitely not least, how often do you clean your World Series ring?
Probably every month just to check if it's still in the safe.
Are there any projects you're working on or have coming up that you would like to share?
Going back to be the hitting coach for the Cleveland Railroaders. I'm excited about that. And then hopefully if everything works out, either continue there or throw my hat in the ring for an MLB job.
Where can people go to follow you or learn more about you?
At the Yorkville Baseball Academy on 106th and 1st Avenue in New York, New York. I'm there Monday through Saturday, and then Google.
John, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, you're awesome, kid.
And sharing great knowledge with the Born to Baseball community.
Thank you very much for having me.
So it's tradition around here to have some ice cream after. So you ready?
Let's get it.
Thank you all for listening in. We really hoped you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and be the first to know when new episodes launch. Check us out at borntobaseball.com for free resources and new gear. Download the Born to Baseball app to have real-time conversations, share your game and video highlights, and be celebrated by our BTB team. And of course, on social media, at Born to Baseball, where we can connect live. Now, let's play ball.